喂喂喂，老师，不好意思，请问有听到我的声音吗？好，谢谢。要不要介绍一下？介绍一下。
Hello，各位老师，大家好。OK，今天呢，非常欢迎各位老师来参加我们这一次的第一次的英语教学研讨会。OK，所以呢，我们先确定一下，目前老师都上线了哈。OK，so honorable professors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Cheng from Department of Business Administration, and then I'm really happy to be here to welcome you to join the very first EMI teacher workshop held by College of Management. And then it is our pleasure and honor to have Professor庄永山to talk about the importance and implementation of EMI in Taiwan. And then I'm sure that in the following 2 hours, we're going to have fruitful experiences from Zhuang Yongshan 教授's presentation. Okay, so before we start, I would like to have a brief introduction about the background of Zhuang Yongshan 教授. Zhuang Jiaoshou has been a really famous and well-known educator in the field of English teaching and learning. And also, he has done a lot of research and academic works as well as international collaborations in the field of English teaching. And then he got his PhD from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign on computational linguistics. And then he got a position in 国立高雄师范大学英语系 as a professor. And later on, 庄永山教授在昆山大学人文科学院担任创院的院长。那之后呢，也在大人科技大学担任讲座教授。之后，他也在一所大学担任英语系的教授，然后推动一所大学全校的国际化。所以呢，我们可以在非常多的报章杂志里面看到一所大学他们在国际化的成就，包含是一所大学有非常多的国际生，还有包含一所大学他们的校园有建制一个国际友善的校园，可以让国际生非常自由自在在里面活动。所以呢，这边呢其实都是庄教授他所奠的基，所以呢他非常的有远见。OK， 好，那除此之外呢，庄教授他也是各个学术领域的访问学者，包含是中研院，包含是美国的 University of Michigan、University of North Carolina， 还有 University of Wisconsin。OK， 然后至于庄教授现在的现职，他是国际狮子大学国际总校长，那也是国际狮子会基金会的资深顾问。然后除此之外，他也是亚太多媒体语文学会的理事长，更是教育部甄选研发网路全民英检的主持人。那庄教授呢，在网络全民英检这一块呢，琢磨很深，是因为他大概在20多年前就已经开始这个网络的测验。然后20年后的今天，我们知道庄教授他非常的有远见，他可以知道说可以如何在短时间内可以让莘莘学子不用南北奔波，然后呢可以在非常短的时间内可以得到网络的成绩，然后确定一下网络上面的测验的成效，它是有信度和效度的。OK， 好，所以呢，接下来的2个小时，我们就可以希望我们从这2个小时当中可以得到非常多 EMI 的教学的想法。OK， 然后希望呢，参加的各位老师们以后呢就不会再害怕用 EMI 教学。OK， 那我们用最热烈的掌声来欢迎一下庄教授，谢谢大家。谢谢。
Good morning. I'm very happy that
I was invited to deliver this speech, especially when Taiwan is promoting the application of English for a lot of tasks, such as international trading, world communication, and the like. And I'm so happy that Professor Cheng did such a great job in introducing me to all of you. So let's give her our big applause. I am amazed at your introduction. And we know a good beginning is have success. And I will do my best to make this speech useful and fruitful, as you just mentioned. So let's start our journey. And it would be good for me to show you the second slide. And you can see the first slide consists of all English information. And here we can see Chinese and English at the same time. And it would be good for you to see at the end of this page, we have we serve. It's good for you to know something about nihilism that I have been participating in for the past around 12 years. And now you have CMI. The page contains only Chinese, no English. Let's go back. See here? You see the difference. So we have only English on the first page. EMI, English as a medium of instruction. And then we have CMI, means we use Chinese and English as medium instruction, CEMI. And now we have CMI. Of course, we would like to go from CMI to CEMI and then to EMI. And I will show you why we need to do that. And I taught at the doctoral program of the English department at National Kaohsiung Normal University. I need to show you this since I enjoy teaching over there for quite a few years. And when we have more time, we will play it to you. But basically, this is about the skill in getting the target. Not easy to achieve, but it's good to show you later when we have more time. The important part is I would like to tell you, in order to succeed in EMI, we need to have attention for instructors and also for students. Very important. And I think it's good for me to pray this with you. Let's let's try it. Do we have the internet connection? Maybe we choose this one. Or we need to, maybe this one. Okay. Yes. Did you see what happened? Let's come back here. Okay, so I want to show you the importance of Taiwan's 2030 goal to become a bilingual nation. So we can learn from the video that the importance of learning a second language, especially the language that we can use for international trading and work communication. Of course, we know that around 80% of knowledge was supported by English. So knowledge acquisition is also important if we can make use of English to learn many kinds of knowledge through the internet or through books and the like. So this is very important. And now let's come back here. We will hope that we will come from CMI, Old Chinese, and then CMI. We use Chinese and English at the same time, bilingual education, and then we come to EMI. And I already told you the reason why. And let's have the repetition. I will tell you one of the techniques for professors to teach content courses in English is repetition. So why is it so important? Taiwan's 2030 goal to become a bilingual nation. So I told you that it is important to acquire the language of English so that we can do a good job in international trading, world communication, and knowledge acquisition. And then how can we achieve it? Today, we would focus three parts, but we would focus more on the second part. So how can we achieve the goal? Incentives. In order to achieve the goal, we need to encourage our professors and students to take part in EMI by giving them more support in terms of funding or administration and the like. I'll give you more in details. And then the second part is instruction, and the third part will address environments, incentives, instruction, and environment. Of course, I mentioned that I would focus more on instruction. However, the first part, incentives, and the third part, environments, are also important. We need to have a complete picture, not just EMI. We need to look at EMI from the bigger picture. Otherwise, it's hard to really know how we can make use of EMI to help achieve the goal. The goal is for Taiwan to become a bilingual nation. So I hope that you see the infrastructure of my speech. So incentives, more supports. What does it mean by more supports? When we mention supports, we are talking about financially, administratively, and also spiritually. For example, today, the administration offers the financial support to present this speech. This is important so that our professors and students can meet with scholars from the outside world, not from only this university. The communication with the outside world is very important. For me, when I taught at National Gaoxiong Normal University, I travel a lot to other countries, meeting with scholars and making presentations on my research results, and also I learn from them. This is the important part, not only tell something, we need to learn something from others. That's important. And today I'm happy that I'm here. I would learn also from you. And when you have any question during my speech, I would encourage you to raise your hands and ask your questions. Otherwise, you may forget your question. I hope that my speech is interactive. Since for EMI, we need to encourage our students to be interactive to the professor, to their colleagues, and to even their books and the like. Very important. Interaction need to be there so that acquisition can take place. That's the key. So I also hope that when you have any questions, you do not need to wait until the end of the speech. No, you ask the question right away, like in a classroom. When I taught at National Gaoxiong Normal University, I encourage my students to ask questions. If they ask questions, I give them more points. So they would be happy to ask questions. And by asking questions, students would find the beauty of asking questions. Why? Because when they want to ask questions, they would need to read the textbook. They need to think about the content. And when they come up with questions, that means they are thought-provoking. Otherwise, they just sit there and listen to me. I do not think that's good for instruction. Instruction to be interactive. So more support from the government, from the university, and also from the outside world. We can try to raise funding by applying to even enterprises. They would be happy to collaborate with a good university like National Zhongzheng University. This is a fantastic university. We have a beautiful campus. We have so many great scholars here, and also we have perfect students to work with. And we need to have more funding, as I mentioned previously, and also higher salary for those instructors who would like to volunteer to teach their courses in English, only English. That's important. And of course, for some instructors who may not be confident in themselves at the very beginning, they need to be encouraged to speak up for the opportunity to teach their content courses in English. Not only professors from the English department to teach their courses in English. For me, I taught semantics, syntax, phonology, and also semantics, statistics and computation linguistics, and corpus linguistics, and research methodology. So we need to teach in English for sure, but these not the English skill courses, not listening, speaking, reading, and writing. They are content courses like management administration, financial courses, the same thing. We teach the same content courses like math, chemistry, and physics. They are not language skills. So we need to use English to teach the same thing for other departments, not only English professors. But at the very beginning, we need to have these kinds of incentives, very important. And then we would focus on instruction more. So I would spend more time on the second part. Let's repeat the goal. Taiwan's goal for 2030 is for Taiwan to become a national private bilingual competition and capability. So this is our goal. And in order to achieve it in universities, we need to implement EMI. This is important. So here we would like to focus on instruction, and in this part, we would focus on the two participants, instructors and students, more. And the same thing, we can enjoy a little bit, try this. So you see the amazing skills. We instructors need to learn from them. How could they achieve the skills? We can do the same thing. So let's think about their skills. Of course, they need time and efforts so that they can come to the expertise. They need time and efforts so that they can achieve the goal. The goal is for them to play the balls, not only one ball, but many balls at the same time, amazingly and beautifully and unbelievably. We are professors. We need to do the same thing in order to compare with the outside world. The outside world is very competitive. We need to be prepared for that kind of situation. So we need to have attention. We need to be also creative. And we need to make our instruction fun. This is the key. Okay, so creating something new and amazing, not just new, but also amazing. What's this? What can you see? Of course, everybody knows they are poker cards. But why do I need to show these poker cards? You may wonder why I need to present these 4 poker cards here. I just told you that professors need to be creative. In order to show you the importance of creativity, I need to show that I am somewhat creative. Otherwise, you may wonder why I need to tell you that instructor need to be creative. I need to be creative to begin with. So I need to show you this. This is traditional. I do not think that you didn't play poker before. Everybody must have enjoyed playing poker cards. And see here, I make something new and hopefully amazing as well. See here, Professor Cheng introduced me telling you I am director of NAPO. NAPO stands for National Association. That's the national test, English test, NAPO, N-E-T-P-A-W, National English Test of Proficiency for on the web. And the national test was funded and initiated by the Ministry of Education, and this association received the funding from the Ministry of Education, and I went to the United States, the University of North Carolina, to work on this project. And some 27 years ago, we created this association, and then I conducted this research in the year of 2002 to 2003 at the University of North Carolina. And I succeeded in creating the online test when TOEFL still use paper test. I would say it again. Our Ministry of Education is unique and perfect. See, long time ago, they already knew that the importance of making use of the internet for English instruction when TOEFL and TOEIC still use paper test. You see, we have paper test, computer test, and then online test. So we Taiwanese are very creative. We jump from paper test over computer test to the online test, paper test, computer test, and then online test. So wonderful. And later, I think it would be good to make instruction fun. So I created magic poker card, and I will show you how I can make it magic. So I'll show you. And here, so you see, we can use it as a poker card, but we can make it fun, and also we can make these poker cards good for English learning. What fruit do you like best? And then since we know that there are how many cards in a set? How many? 52, right? 52. Yes, 52. And we have from A to K, right? So A to K. What's K? K means king, right? And 13, right? 13 sets times 4 equals 52, right? So we have 52 cards in a set. And I came up with the idea of the same thing, 52 cards. So I use 52 cards for students to play. See here? I like apples the best. So this is not traditional. This is new and amazing. That's what sport do you like best? And then students need to get this card so they can get points. So this set of cards are entirely different from the traditional poker cards. See here? And I can also, let me show you in a minute. I'm happy that I have a copy here. Yes. And I would play the magic to you in the second section. How about that? So you can wait to see the magic. And you know that waiting is a blessing. In order to enjoy our dinner or lunch, we need to be hungry. So if you are not hungry, you may not enjoy our meal. And the same thing, I would like you to wait, and then we would make it more fun. So for instructors, they need to be capable of using English to instruct their students, to educate their students to become knowledgeable, optimistic, and also altruistic. Do you follow me? Professors and instructors need to educate their students to be optimistic, altruistic, and knowledgeable world citizens. Let me repeat it. Professors and instructors need to educate their students to become optimistic, altruistic, and knowledgeable world citizens. Optimistic means that they need to be still active even when they face with the music, when they have the trouble in the real world. Very important. It's impossible for us to be happy all the time. Sometimes we can be sad with something bad, but we need to be optimistic. And we are lucky that we are professors. We are lucky that we are students in a good university. And there are some people who are not so lucky. They may not have the food to eat. They may not have buildings to live in. So they need to suffer their bad life. And in order to help them out, we need to be altruistic. Altruistic means we pay attention to those who are in need. We need to be aware of the needy so that we can try our best to help them out. Very important, altruistic. And then knowledgeable. For me, I taught at Kaohsiung Senior High School, one of the best senior high schools in Taiwan. I enjoyed teaching there. And when I decided to earn my doctorate degree at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, I chose computation linguistics as my major. And you know, computation linguistics needs not only statistics, but also computing. See here, statistics and computing were Greek to me when I decided to choose computation linguistics as my major. Since I didn't have any idea of statistics, and I have very limited computing power. So I need to work on two areas that were really new to me. And English ability, let's think about how instructors can do a good job in their EMI. And I just mentioned three important parts for students. Let me finish it before we continue. Optimistic, altruistic, and knowledgeable world citizens. And if we use the acronyms, OAK is a kind of tree, right? Oak. Optimistic, altruistic, and knowledgeable. So I make it easy to remember the importance of educating our students to be optimistic, altruistic, and knowledgeable. And then we need to have strategies for instructors, English ability, preparation strategy. So we will focus on these three areas. Since we have only 2 hours, we need to have the focus. And for instructors to be proficient in EMI, their English ability need to be at least B2. B2 means that they can present their papers internationally. They can take questions from their colleagues in the conference. So B2 is the minimum proficient level in English. Do you follow me? There are 6 proficiency levels based on the Common European Framework. And I hope that I need to tell you that I sent a letter to the Common European the Council Europe, and the headquarters is in France, asking them to allow me to translate the framework, a book, into Chinese. And at the same time, the Ministry of Education sent them a letter asking them to allow the Ministry of Education to have some scholars translate the book into English. And the Council of Europe decided that they offered me the right to do the translation. And they told the Ministry of Education in Taiwan that they already authorized me to handle the translation from the English version into the Chinese version. So the Ministry of Education called me, Dr. Chuang, this is very important for Taiwan. And I asked them for the collaboration. So the Ministry of Education gave me the funding for the translation. So if you do not have a copy, you need to get a copy of the Common European Framework. Very important to know. At least your library need to get one copy. So there are 6 levels based on the Common European Framework for language instruction, assessment, and learning. So, of course, the professors need to be proficient in these 4 areas. Not only one area, need to be proficient in listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And in order to do a good job in their teaching content courses in English, they need to be prepared for the challenge at the very beginning. They would enjoy it. And we have 3 important terms: EGP, ESP, EAP. So that's EGP, English for general purposes. When we visit a store in the States, so you need to communicate with the store agents so that they can help you check out. So, or when you meet with people in Canada, if you need to ask them the direction to reach a bank or a station, you use EGP, the daily life English. And then we have EAP, English for academic purposes, like this one, or the one in your teaching content course in English. For example, statistics, accounting, and physics. You have English for academic purpose. And then English for specific purposes. So in EAP, you have different kinds of ESP. So EAP consists of many kinds of ESP. You follow me? Specific, like I mentioned, accounting, business administration, management, and chemistry and the like. So each of them is in the area of ESP if you use English as a medium instruction. Okay. And you also need to select good textbook. In order to select a good textbook, you know your students' initial ability in the content area. For me to teach research methodology at the department, I need to know whether they already know anything about research methodology. In teaching corpus linguistics, I also need to know how much they already know about corpora and corpora linguistics. Corpora consists of written and spoken text. So corpora is a term in computational linguistics, and corpus linguistics is one of the branches of computation linguistics. Computation linguistics is on the top, and then we have corpus linguistics and the like. And then PowerPoint. We need to do a PowerPoint, and sometimes it's not good to present too much information on a page. You need to include only several lines, less than 8 lines, maybe 6 lines is the best. If you have too many lines, and then the words will be small, and the student who sit in the back cannot see the words easily, and it's hard for them, and it's not good for acquisition. And at the very beginning, you need to practice teaching before you come to the classroom for your instruction. You need to teach to your chairs, tables, thinking that they have students sitting on them already. So try to be prepared by practice teaching before you start your instruction in the real classroom situation. And strategies in, of course, here, I do not want to spend too much time in this section, but you know, either you need to be aware of these 3 areas, easy to understand. And I will focus even more on strategies. Also, if you are prepared for giving strategies to your students, this is also a part of preparation, okay? And pretest is a good strategy to have. Usually, professors may not do this, and it's a big pity not to do the pretest. And I'll show you why we need to have pretest for your course. If you do not do it, then you will feel sorry for not doing it. The beauty of pretest is if you administer pretest to your students, you know your students' beginning ability in your content course. It's important to know your audience. So I checked with Mr. Lin. He did a very good job for me. I would like you to tell me the information of my audience so that I know how I can do a better job to be prepared for this kind of situation. It will be different if our university present here. I would like to talk more about the administration, you know, and since today most of us are professors and instructors, I would like to focus on instruction more. So you know, that's very important. And also, if you have pre-test for your students, then at the end of your instruction, you can offer post-test, or you can offer the midterm exam so that you know whether your students have made progress. And I'm sure each of you would receive the comments from your students at the end of the semester, right? And some of them can give you good comments, some of them may give you bad comments, and you get a point. If you get a point better than 4, I have no idea what kind of number that you use. In the 3 universities that I taught, we use the 5. Did you use 5? This is the highest. So if you get 3, then may not be very good. If you get 4 and over 4, and that shows that you did something good for your semester course. The best is reaching the numbers need to reach 5. That's 4.9. Some of you may get a very high score. Suppose that you get the number of 2, even 1, right? If a student want to give you hard time. Okay, let's give our instructor some hard time by giving you 2 or 1.5, something like that. And the department, the college and university would think that you didn't do a good job. But actually you did do a good job. If you did do a good job, then you can use your pre-test and midterm and post-test to show that they to learn something. Do you follow me? They really understand my instruction and they really learn something from my course. Very important. So don't forget about pre-test. If you forget about it, sooner or later you will be sorry for not doing it. Keep it in mind, please. Okay. And then team projects. It's also important to either assign a team project for a group of students, or you allow them to choose their own team project. It's good for them to form their own team and choose their own team project. And it's also important strategy. You can have this kind of strategy, or you forget about it. Of course, this is important for your content course, especially when you use English only to teach your content course. Very important, since interaction is the key for acquisition. We need to have a group of students working together and communicating with each other. They can discuss the content when they want to solve some problems. Since some contents can be very difficult for them at the very beginning if they do not have peers to help each other. Then it can be difficult. So I'll show you the parts for students later. And the same thing for students, they need to have strategies, okay? And speed. Try not to go too fast. If you teach too fast, your student will be left behind, and you may not know it that your students are left behind. Something like you travel too fast and you forget that some people are left behind. So you need to come back to pick them up, and you waste some time. So you need to pay attention to all your students. So if you speak too fast, especially in English, it will be hard for them to follow because they may either not very proficient in their listening, and then they cannot understand your content or your explanation, and it would be bad for them. And of course, when your instruction is bad for them, it's not good for you. So you need to know this kind of mutual benefits. If you speak at a right speed, then your student will acquire your content easily and effectively. Paraphrasing. What am I paraphrasing? That means if your students cannot really understand the content or they raise their hands, that's the best. But sometimes your students will sit there and listen only. They may not want to ask you to stop. So you need to be very aware of the learning situation happening in their brains by checking their face expressions. If they wonder about something, then they may have a difficulty in understanding the content. So you need to repeat that part and try to explain the content in some different ways. So paraphrasing is an important skill and also a good strategy. So if you keep it in mind, and then you would repeat the parts by giving them some better example, or try to explain it in a different way. So paraphrasing is different from the petition, and the petition is a strategy. Since we have a lot of senses in a text for your class hour, not just one sense, it can cover many pages. So you need to repeat the important parts so that your student can catch the most important parts. If you try to think that your student will remember everything, it's impossible, since our brain cannot remember so many facts at the same class hour. We need to try to repeat those important parts so that they can acquire the skills or the knowledge. When I studied at the English department of National Taiwan Normal University for the master courses, one of the professors did a very good job. The course in linguistics was difficult, However, I found that it's easy to follow his instructions since he repeated the important parts. So I feel that repetition is very important. So I hope that you can make use of this skill and also strategy. When I taught statistics at the doctoral program of the English Department, National Kaohsiung University, I always keep this in mind because statistics is very difficult for English majors. They are not the majors in physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. So statistics is difficult for them, but they need to acquire the skill so that they can do a better job in their research, so they can come up with better research papers. So I would repeat the important parts, something like significance level, ANOVA, or t-test, some important terms. The difference between descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. So they would meet with these terms, not just one time, several times, so that they would remember them automatically. That's the key. Some important terms need to be repeated, not just one time, maybe even several times. And asking questions. I like to ask students questions as well. And if they ask me questions, I told you that I would give them extra points. So they will be encouraged to ask questions. And if they ask questions, it means that they work hard in reading, in discussion, the content with their peers and the like, so that it's good for them to get the extra points. And I would ask my students whether they really understand the concept. Since I taught the hard, difficult content areas like corpus linguistics, statistics, and computational linguistics. So I need to be aware of my speed. I need to be aware of the situation in which my students learn the content area easily or successfully. I need to be aware of all kinds of parts. So let me ask you a question. Do you follow me? Do you have any questions? Yes.
My question is about, because when we're teaching, it could be also hard and difficult for us to kind of like it's a language translation process. So how student, if we found student, they can't understand what we're just talking about, how could we to make another sentence for them? Because even us, we also feel uncomfortable in that situation. So do you have any strategy for handle these difficulties? Thank you.
So this is in the area of proficiency. So we can try to make use of easier words. So I mentioned that we need to be proficient in the level of B2, right? In terms of language skills. And also, if we know we have different kinds of words for the same thing, So we try not to use difficult words, big words for our content. We need to try to use the easy words, something like achievement. If you, let me give you an example. In order to achieve the goal, we need to collaborate with the outside world. See, I use big words like achieve, collaborate, and then if we use easier words like if we want to make it, you see here, different, right? Achieve is a harder word. So it's important to be aware of the language that you use. So let me show the two sense again. If we want to achieve the goal, we need to collaborate with the outside world. If we want to make it, we need to work with the outside world. See? So your student will find the second sense easier. And you try to use fewer words, not the complex senses or compound senses. Try to use the simple sense, not the complex senses. Usually compound and complex sense are more difficult than simple senses or single senses. So you can use easier words and easier grammar. That means easier sense structures. Can you tell me the time? I 11:05. So I think it's a good stop here since we will go to the second part. But before we finish, let's finish the last part, post-test. When you have pre-test, you also need to have post-test. In between pre-test and post-test, we have instruction. So this is for instruction strategies. So you also need to have a post-test. When we say post-test, it doesn't mean that the final exam. It can be the final exam, but for each section, you need to have a pre-test and a post-test. And pre-test and post-test can consist of different kinds of tests. Maybe you can have the pre-test by asking questions or give them paper test, if I mean, or even questionnaires. You can use the internet to check their learning situation by giving questionnaires, right? Easy. Now a professor need to be proficient not just in their language skills, but also in using the internet, the PowerPoint, and the like. So we need to try to learn as many kinds of skills as possible that are good to enhance our instruction. So I use enhance. And your student may find it difficult in knowing the meaning of enhance. So you can say, oh, you need to better your language skill. Better is easier than enhance, right? So try to be aware of the language that you use. Okay, so that's the parts of paraphrasing. So pre-test and post-test, in between we have instruction. And if you have this kind of instruction scheme or infrastructure, then your instruction will be more efficient and successful, not just effective. I like the word efficiency. Means you make your instruction not only effective but also you use less time. You follow me? Efficiency means you use less time to achieve the goal, your instruction goal. So I use the skill of paraphrasing. So it's important so that your student, and when you do the paraphrasing, you are using the skill of repetition at the same time, because you find that the part is important. So you can try to re-emphasize the point by doing paraphrasing and repetition. You follow me, right? Okay. So I think it's good for us to stop here, and then we'll continue. So let's take a break, and then we'll come to the parts of students. Okay. So we'll stop here. Thank you. So can you stop the recording or something?
各位老师，大家好。我们中间休息10分钟，然后呢，如果各位老师方便的话，是不是可以请大家开一下你的画面？如果方便的话，那不方便也没有关系。然后我们会在大概2分钟后，我们会有一个合照。OK， 谢谢大家。谢谢各位老师，我们大概在30秒后，我们会有一个合照的动作。那不好意思，老师们没有看到我们现场哈，然后麻烦请同学截图跟照相一下好吗 ？OK， 谢谢老师。杨老师，谢谢，我们已经截图完毕，谢谢大家。OK， 那我们中间先休息一下，然后等一下时间到了，我们会再提醒老师一下，谢谢。
喂喂喂，喂，老师不好意思，那个在线上的老师们可以帮我在聊天室这边就是留一下名字，我们要进行签到，谢谢。
各位线上的老师，大家好。我们的演讲第2个小时大概会在3分钟后开始，大概是11点28分。好，谢谢老师。
到那个 student。再往下。到这里，可以从这里开始，从这里这样比较好。那我们到时候可以从这里接下去。
随身碟插着就可以播了。
对，啊，你可以把它
先拉到这里。这个，EMI，
对，这里。来这边就可以了。
Good morning.
好的，各位线上的老师，大家好。我们现在呢将要开始第2个小时的庄教授的演讲 ，OK。然后呢，我们会先把荧幕切到庄教授的 PPT 上面。好，那我们就再次欢迎庄教授，谢谢大家。
Good morning again. I'm happy that we already covered most of the speech, and we talk about the importance of pretest, team projects, the speed of instruction, paraphrasing and repetition, and also the skill of asking questions, and the skill of post-test or the strategy is also of great importance for successful instruction. Now we come to students' part. Of course, in order to succeed in EMI, not only the proficiency of professor need to be at least B2, but also the student in the building need to be B1 as well. And in this part, we also cover 3 areas: English building, preparation, and strategies. So I mentioned that for a professor, they need to be proficient in English at the level of B2. For students, it's good for them to have the English ability at the level of B1. The same thing, it's good for them to be good at listening, speaking, reading, and also writing. And for preparation, this is so important that professors and instructors need to remind their students of pre-reading the text before they come to the classroom. So they need to read the textbook before the class. Very important. The important part is for them to browse through the text for the class hour at least. The important point is for them to browse through even the entire textbook by reading the table of contents. So this is the semester content. So it's good for them to expect what they would cover. And also mark difficult parts in the text. Mark the difficult parts in the text. This is important since if they mark the important parts or the difficult parts in the text that they cannot really understand, it's good for them because they can raise their hands to ask questions if they cannot understand the contents even after the instruction, even when they listen very carefully to their professors. So this is an important part of preparation. And for strategies, proactive learning. By proactive learning, it means students should not only sit there listening to their professors. They need to be prepared for the class by pre-reading the text. They need to discuss some important points with their peers. They need to think about some questions before the class. And peer learning, we remember that we have the grouping, right? In the strategy part of professors. Previously, we mentioned, and they need to be aware of peer learning, not just learn individually. And also, this strategy is important, metacognition. Do you follow me? Do you know the word metacognition? It can be hard for you. Meta means after. After you study something, you go back to think about the content. So the student need to have this kind of strategy. And it's good for professors to tell their students that they need to make use of this skill or this strategy. After the class, they can try to think about the important points so that their memory can be enhanced. So this skill is very important. Metacognition, meta-analysis. For a professor, it's good to make use of the skill of meta-analysis. And you can collect a lot of research results and you conduct a meta-analysis over these research results, and you can come up with something new and amazing. I make use of the website of University of Illinois and the University of Wisconsin, and also Harvard University. One of the website is so good that I visit very often. The website is for me to get the information of medicine. So the website is offered by the College of Medicine of Harvard University, and is amazing. It accommodates all kinds of research results offered by so many professors, doctors, and researchers invited to collaborate with each other by Harvard University. You know the number of staff? The number is more than 10,000. 11,998 staff. 11,998. So many. 11998. So many professors, researchers, and medical doctors working together to come up with so many kinds of medicine research results. So I enter the website very often using password and username. Not everybody can enter the website. And I enjoy reading the meta-analysis results. They would collect a lot of research papers, and then they come up with something new and amazing. So I mentioned cognition is important for students, and meta-analysis is very important for scholars like you. So proactive learning, students need to take notes. When they take notes, they would know whether they really understand the contents in that class hour. So taking notes is an important strategy for proactive learning. And they need to participate actively in their learning. Okay? And then they need to ask questions when they find difficult parts or the parts that they cannot understand. And peer learning, I would like to give you examples at UIUC where I earned my doctoral degree. Interesting examples. You know, I received my doctoral degree at this dome in the campus of University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And this is the state of Illinois. This is the lake near the state of Illinois and U.S. Chicago here. So we would fly into the international airport at Chicago, and then we can either take a train or fly to the airport of the university. We enjoy the airport, so amazing. This university has a medium-sized airport, so I broadened my mind because of this. And also, it accommodated the only supercomputer at the time when I earned my doctoral degree, the only supercomputer in the United States among all universities. So this is a superb university. And I earned my doctoral degree with a major of computational linguistics. And also the other supercomputer is located at the Ministry of Defense in the Pentagon. So this is my major. And you know, this is brand new to me. So you see here, I taught English at Kaohsiung High School without any sense of statistics and with limited ability in computing. So how can I succeed? How can I succeed in getting the degree? Statistics and programming were very difficult for me. And I took 5 courses in statistics. The key is collaborative learning. Collaborative learning. We need to keep our students in mind that collaborative learning is very, very important. If I do not make use of this strategy, I could not have succeeded in passing all these 5 courses in statistics. I was so lucky that I have a group of students, peers, working together on the hard parts of my journey toward the receiving of my doctoral degree with a major of computational linguistics, the collaborative learning. And how about programming? I took 6 courses in computation linguistics, and the programming is the key. How can I succeed how could I succeed in passing these 6 courses? The key was collaborative learning. I work with my peers. They came from many countries. So we worked together to pass these courses. One of the classmates was from the United States. The other one is from Malaysia. Without these 2 classmates, I could not succeed in passing these courses because we work together, and they are good at programming. One of them have the major in mathematics and also programming, and I came from the background of English instructions. I am happy that I enjoy working with them. So the collaboration with them was very important and essential for my success at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So environments, this is the 3rd part of my speech for Taiwan's goal to reach the situation in which we have the bilingual nation. Schools, enterprises, communities need to provide citizens and students with bilingual environments. So it's good to create stories, networking, and internationalization. So now, at the end, I offer you this important project that we are conducting for Taiwan. This is important as for NAPO, National English Test of Proficiency for All on the web, initiative funded by the Ministry of Education. So, see here, if you can have the this kind of facilities around your campus, so you use so you can see here, and you can listen to the speech, or you can watch the video. So you see here.
So shining. Mike Chuang, Ph.D. Some 29 years ago, when I studied at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign in the United States of America, I visited Springfield, the capital city.
So you see, students or citizens can listen to the English speech, not only from the classroom, but also from the environment. So I hope that this university can collaborate with ROC Media, the National Association for Promoting English Instruction around Taiwan, and we collaborated with the outside world, not just Taiwan. And then that's National Science Center Museum work with us to promote English instruction and the like. And also, we can make use of the environment to enhance English instruction, not just in the classroom. Students can acquire language skills, making use of this creation. Let me show you. You can try it. So if if you use your mobile phone, so you can watch videos, listening to the great creation. So you do not need to spend any cent to help your students. Okay, so you can have this kind of creation. The same thing for this. So you can have a lot of great video clips, movies already available on the internet. So you just have this kind of creation. See here? So this is about clothes. So we have different kinds of creations in different areas. So this is a typical part. You see here? And then you have a housing and your skyscrapers. We offer the best, okay? And then we have museums, we have cartoons, we have songs, we have Beethoven. And then I think it's good for me to play this.
A very warm good evening to all the esteemed dignitaries, respected chairpersons, respected speakers of this conference. I am Dr. Dipanjali Mishra and I am Associate Professor in the School of Humanities, Kalinga University of Industrial Technology, which is in India. I would take this opportunity to welcome you all to my university and have a look at the architectural excellence of KIIT. And I'm sure it would be a wonderful opportunity for you also.
And then let me so now we have this is the University of Bombay, and I would like to show you a professor. I want you to have a sense of the outside world.
Good morning to all the professors, delegates who have assembled here for this talk or the conference organized by your prestigious university. I am Professor Dr. Rajesh Shavle from Chung Arts, Commerce, Science College, New Panvel Autonomous. Today, I would like to express my views on the topic called English as a Medium of Instruction to the students. Dear teachers, when we are teaching to the students may have different mother tongues. For example, look at me or my college where I teach English. I find that more than 70% students who are admitted in my college, they are having Marathi as a mother tongue. Look at.
So I want you to have a sense of the outside world, especially in the area of India. They have the first language, not the mother tongue. They have so many kinds of languages, their mother tongues. So they have their national language, English. So we have different kind of situation when you talk about EMI. In Taiwan, this is a foreign language. In their countries, their first language. They are official languages. And now it's good to know a little about International University. I serve as international president of the university. So it's good for you to know a little about it so that we can collaborate to make the world more peaceful, blissful, and prosperous for the needy and the poor, not just for us only, and then roar. So I would like to stop here, and I say that I would like you to ask questions. So I hope that you can ask questions now. Yes.
Hello, Professor Zhang. I have one question for you. It's like I'm facing right now in my EMI classes. It's like usually I'm asking my students a lot of questions, but when they are asked to answer my question, they always hesitate and pause, and then they are looking at me like they're at a loss. So how can I possibly encourage them to say more and also express their ideas in a much more clear and logical way, so that they can be learning not only from me, but also from their peers? Thank you very much.
This is a very good question. There can be some factors in solving this situation. First, it is good to tell students if they ask questions, you give them extra points. This is a good incentive. And also, we try to slow down the pace for instruction at the very beginning to try to develop friendship with our students. If you try to be very nervous in our instruction, then our students will be nervous. But if we try to create the environment that show that we are trying our best to help them out and try to give them the best, and we would like them to be successful, and they can relax, and they would like to ask questions, and when we ask them questions, they would like to raise their hands. Okay, this is easy for me. And you try to give them some encouragement even when they do not give good answer if you ask them a question. So try to come up with some strategy that we make our instruction fun. Something like, okay, let me show you some magic. One of the university president, he taught at the university, at a national university. Each time he would give a joke before the class. So he created the fun in his instruction. So the university president found that his instruction was very successful because students enjoy the joke. And the same thing, we can use magic, but you need to learn how to play magic, or you can do without them by slow down the pace and also give them some incentive. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? We have colleagues online. They can also ask questions. How can we ask them to ask questions? Can you help? Thank you. So they can also ask questions, right? So any colleagues from the internet would like to ask questions? Of course, you can ask questions anytime. I would give my contact number, or you can contact me through the email system, or we can contact each other by using Line. It is a good social media. Yes, you are more than welcome.
So this is my second question about EMI. It's like usually for EMI classes, teachers, they're under certain kind of pressure of finishing a class on time. And then usually some class materials, they cannot be properly taught. So how can we kind of like squeeze our time into a perfect timing so that we will not be under such a pressure of like finishing a unit within a certain time limit? Thank you.
If we use EMI in senior high schools, middle schools, and elementary school, we have more pressure since they have the same textbook. For university courses, usually professors and instructors can decide on their own textbooks, then the pressure would be less. So you are talking about the same textbook. If we have the same textbook and then we have the same amount of text to cover, then we have more pressure. In that situation, we need to have the discussion among professors and instructors. We need to come up with some consensus that we would like to slow down a little bit. So we would not cover too many texts in a semester because as I mentioned previously that we need to offer support to EMI instructors by giving them some special favor. So this is the one of the favors that they can receive in order to encourage professors and instructors to administer EMI in their content courses. So I think that's the way to solve this kind of problem. Yeah, you are more than welcome. Any other question you'd like to ask a question? And also, I think when you try to come up with questions, let me come up with something for you. It can be very good. When I thought about my promotion to become a professor, every instructor or assistant professors and associate professors would like to become associate professors and full professors. A good way is try to get help from professors and associate professors, especially from professors. When I taught at National Kaohsiung Normal University as associate professor, I thought about how I could succeed in becoming a full professor for quite a few years. And then I achieved the goal. And then one day I received a letter through the email system from my classmate when we worked together for our doctoral degree at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, asking me to help him with the promotion. He said, Dr. Chung, I would like to become a professor. Could you help? Oh, then I sense the possibility of getting the help from a professor. I didn't know that we can do that, so I work alone. That's not good for us. So I sent back a letter to him saying not a problem, and I asked him a question: what kind of research topic that you would like to work on? And then he sent me a research topic, and I checked with him about what kind of statistics that he would like to use. And then he told me about the statistics that he would like to use. And then I told him that no, those statistical models are not good for your research topic. Oh, then he were aware of the situation, so he changed the statistical models. And also I told him that you need to make use of your skills in the internet, and you are good at creating songs, and you have the music talents and the like, and your subject need to be not only from your country but also from other countries. If you have your subjects in your states, then that's not international. Since that's a local subjects, it's good to have a subject from Taiwan. So I invited professors to work with him, and these professors can get good collaboration projects. You see here, so the same thing. We try not to work alone for EMI. We need to work together as a group, try to help each other to create something new and amazing for our EMI instruction, contents and the like, so that we can do a good job in our instruction, and at the same time we can try to come up with some research projects so that we can get promoted to a second higher position at the same time. So this is my suggestion for you at the end of my speech. And I told you that I would like to play magic. Let's finish my speech with my magic. How about that? Okay, let me show you how I can play the magic. Okay, so let me finish it in a minute. So you see, we have the poker card,